Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Jonathan. I'm here at Florida CDL, and we're going to do a Class B CDL inspection, starting with the in-vehicle or in-cabin inspection. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and start the in-vehicle inspection. I'm going to go ahead and start the engine and build the air pressure up to 120 and 140, the governor cutoff. So let's build that air pressure up. All right, so the air pressure has built up between 120 to 140. So to check the parking brake, we're gonna go ahead and put the truck in second gear in this case. Release the clutch slowly to check if the truck is moving. So push the clutch in, second gear. Releasing the clutch slowly. We see the truck is not moving, so that shows the parking brake is working properly. We'll make sure we put the truck back in neutral. Next, we're gonna go ahead and check the service brakes. So I need to go forward at 5 miles an hour and stop with the service brakes. And when I stop, the wheel or the truck cannot move to the left or right side. So we're gonna keep our hands close to the wheel, now holding it, that way we can see if it's moving. So second gear. Release the parking brake, and we're gonna slowly go forward. Stop. All right, so in this case, the wheel stood straight, which means the service brakes are working properly. So that means we don't need any adjustments. In the case where the wheel or truck is moving left or right, when you step on the brakes, you will need to adjust the brakes. Now we'll return to the starting position. So we'll go in reverse. All right. Now we'll put the truck back in neutral. Put the parking brake on. All right. Now we're gonna go ahead and build the air pressure back up to 120 and 140 so we can start the air brake check. So we see the air pressure is between 120 to 140. So now we're gonna start the air brake check or the lab test. First by turning the engine off, putting the switch on, putting our foot just slightly on the brake, and we're gonna release or push the parking brake. Now I'm gonna wait for the air pressure to stabilize. All right, and now the air pressure has stabilized. So we're gonna go ahead and check with the timer that in 1 minute, I cannot lose more than 3 pounds. So we're gonna start the timer. All right, 1 minute has passed and the truck has no leaks. In the case where I see the air pressure gauges leaking, I'm gonna mention after 1 minute, the truck has a leak. Next, we're gonna go ahead and mention at 55 pounds or before, the warning brake alarm will activate. So now we gotta start pumping the brake. The warning brake alarm activated, which means it's working properly. Now between 20 and 45 pounds, my parking brake will activate. So I'm gonna keep pumping the brake until this parking brake activates or pops out. All right, the parking brake has activated, which means it's working properly. Now we have finished the air brake check. So next on my checklist, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the lighting indicators or the lights check. All right, so starting with the lights check or the lighting indicators, we're gonna mention here that the ABS and DEF lights have turned on and off. They're working properly, or there's no issues. Next, we're gonna start with the signal lights. Left turn signal, right turn signal are working. My four-way flashers are working. My low beam lights are working, and the high beam lights are working. Next, we have our emergency equipment. So under this seat, I have a red box of 3 reflective triangles. On the floor, I have a fully charged fire extinguisher secured to the clamp, and I can check it's full with the gauge. And 1 box of extra fuses. Next, we're gonna go ahead and check our windshield. The windshield is properly mounted and secure, clean and visible, no cracks, no illegal stickers or obstructions. Next here we have the traffic monitoring devices or our mirrors. They are properly mounted and secure on both sides, clean, no cracks, and in my position. Next we're gonna go ahead and check our wipers. So first we'll check that they work. Wipers are working properly. Next we're gonna mention the wiper arm, blade, and the rubber. They're all secure with no cracks or cuts. Then we're gonna check the washer fluid. Hold the button, the water comes out, and the washer fluid is working. Next we have our heater and the defrost. So starting with the heater, we'll put the fan on 4. Make sure it's blowing to the front, and we put the heat on. And the heater is working. Next we'll check the defrost. So we'll move this knob all the way to the right. Check on top. And the defrost is working. Then we can turn it off. After the heater and defrost, we're gonna mention the horns. Starting with the electric horn or city horn, working properly. And in this case, we don't have an air horn. So if we did, we'd pull the air horn and mention that it's working properly. And now as I finish my horns, I have finished the in-vehicle inspection. All right, guys, so finishing up with the in-vehicle inspection, I'm now gonna go ahead and send my examiner outside of the truck to help me with the all external lights check. All right, sir, the left turn signal.
Working.
Right turn signal.
Working.
Four-way flashers.
Working.
Low beams.
Working.
And the high beams.
Working.
All right. All right, sir, can you go to the rear of the vehicle? All right, sir, left turn signal.
Working.
Right turn signal.
Working.
Four-way flashers.
Working.
Clearance lights and side markers.
Working.
Low beams.
Working.
High beams.
Working.
All right, sir, can you go to the back of the truck? All right, sir, the side markers.
Working.
All right. The brake lights.
Working.
Left turn signal.
Working.
Right turn signal.
Working.
Four-way flashers.
Working.
And the tail lights, are they working?
Working.
All right. Thank you. All right, guys, now we finished the all external lights check, so I'm gonna go ahead and get out of the truck and start with the front of the vehicle inspection. All right, guys, so starting with the front vehicle inspection, we're gonna first mention our lenses. So we have our headlights, side markers, and clearance lights. They're all secure, clean, no cracks, they're not missing, and in the proper color. Next, we're gonna go ahead and check our fluid levels. So we're gonna go ahead and open up the hood. All right, starting on this side. All right, so starting with the first fluid check, we're gonna talk about the coolant tank, properly mounted and secure, no cracks or leaks, and in the proper level. Now we're gonna go to the other side. Now on this side, we're gonna go ahead and start with the engine oil dipstick. It needs to be between add and full. To check, I need to remove the stick, clean it, put it back, remove the stick again, and we'll check the oil level. Next, we have our power steering tank, properly mounted and secure, no cracks or leaks, and in the proper level. Now from there, I finished my fluid levels. Next, we're going to talk about fluid and air leaks. So we're going to mention all the hoses and air lines are secure on both sides with no cracks or leaks. Under my engine, there are no puddles and no dripping from the engine compartment. Next, we're going to go ahead and talk about our steering system. That consists of the steering arm, steering link, the upper control arm, lower control arm, and my tie rod. They're all properly mounted and secure with no bends or rust, no missing bolts, castle nuts, or cotter pins. And my joints and sockets, they are secure, not loose, they are greased, and have no play. Now from the steering system, we have finished the front vehicle inspection area. Next, we're going to move on to the steering axle of the front of the vehicle. So that's going to start here with our tires. The tires are properly mounted and secure. They have no cracks, no cuts or bubbles. There are no bumps or bulges on the outside and inside side walls. My tires have good air pressure. I can check with a pressure gauge to the valve stem. The valve stem and cap, they are secure with no cracks or leaks. My front tires have more than 432-inch of thread, and the rear tires have more than 232-inch of thread. Next, we're going to move on to the rims, properly mounted and secure, with no cracks, bends, no illegal welds, and no rust. Next, we're moving on to our lug nuts. They're all present and tight, not loose, no damage, and there is no shiny metal or rust trails. From our lug nuts, we're going to move inside and start with the spring mounts. So my spring mounts are properly mounted and secure on both sides to the chassis. No cracks, bends, no illegal welds, no missing bolts or nuts, and no missing or damaged bushing. Next, we have the leaf springs, properly mounted and secure on both sides to the spring mounts. No cracks, no bends, they're not missing, they're not shifted, and the vehicle is sitting level. Next, we're going to move to our shock absorbers. The shock absorbers are properly mounted and secure on both sides with no cracks or leaks and no missing bolts or nuts. Now from the shocks, we're going to move to the brake lines or the brake hoses. They're properly mounted and secure on both sides to the coupling and fitting with no cracks and no leaks. And the air is passing through. All right, now starting with the brake contaminants, which is going to be the brake shoes and the brake drum. They're both properly mounted and secure. They're not cracked or bent. There's no oil or grease on them, and they are not worn. And from the brake contaminants, we have finished the steering axle. Next, we will start the side of the vehicle inspection. All right, guys, now starting with the side of the vehicle inspection, first thing we're going to check is the lenses and reflector on the side of the vehicle. So we're going to check all these side marker lights. They're all properly mounted and secure, clean, not cracked or damaged or missing, and in the proper color. Next, we're going to talk about the DOT reflectors, properly mounted and secure, clean, not damaged, and in the proper color. Next, we have our traffic monitoring devices or the mirrors. So we're going to mention the mirrors are properly mounted and secured to the brackets. They're clean and visible, no cracks, and no missing bolts or nuts. The brackets are properly mounted and secured to the door, no cracks or bends, and no missing bolts or nuts. Next, we have our battery, which is just under here. So we're going to first mention that the battery cover needs to latch and unlatch properly, which we can see here. Then we're going to go ahead and move this to the side. That way we can inspect the batteries. So we will mention that the batteries are properly mounted and secure. They have no cracks or leaks. All my cables and connections are secure with no cracks or cuts. And there is no corrosion on the batteries. Now from there, that covers the batteries. Next on our checklist, we have the depth tank and the fuel tank, which we can see them right here. So the fuel and depth tank are properly mounted and secured to the chassis. They have no cracks or leaks, no missing bolts or nuts, and the caps are secure and tight. All right, so from the fuel and depth tank, we're gonna mention the truck frame or the chassis is properly mounted and secure with no missing or damaged frame members. And the frame members are properly mounted and secure. They're not bent, no broken welds, and no holes. And from there, we have finished the side of the vehicle inspection. All right, guys, starting with the rear of the vehicle inspection, what we're gonna first mention is the lenses. So these are gonna be the brake light lenses. They're all properly mounted and secure, clean, not cracked or damaged, not missing, and all in the proper color. And after that, we're gonna mention the DOT reflectors, properly mounted and secure, clean, not damaged, and in the proper color. And now we have finished the rear of the vehicle inspection as well as the Class B CDL inspection. All right, guys, after safety inspecting the truck, we're on our way to the road.